Welcome and or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell and today I'm going to be bringing you the spookiest, spiciest romance books. These books are going to be dark, gothic, super spicy, and steamy. These are like some of my favorite romances. I love to read creepy, spooky, kind of almost like on the verge horror romance in the fall. And these are some recommendations for just that. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you do so. All of my social media is linked down below in the description, including my Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter, along with the link to my Etsy shop and my Patreon, and the Hideaway Discord that I share with my good friend Maggie. Don't forget to comment down below and let me know your favorite dark, creepy romance book. So these books are kind of going to bring some horror, some dark, and most of these books I think are fantasy as well. So fantasy romance that are just darker. There might be some more gore, there might be some dark academia vibes, some gothic tones, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and start out with a more recent read of mine. That's The Coven by Harper Woods. This book is a witchy and vampire-y book. Our main character is a witch. She's been in hiding her whole life and her mother passes away and she ends up going to this school that is run by these really old, they're witches, but they're like, they won't die and they're like skeletons basically. And the headmaster is a vampire and he's got a thing for our heroine. So the two of them develop a romance. There's a mystery. This is super fun, super spicy, a little bit insta-lovey. So you have to be okay with that if you want to read this. This is not a slow burn, though it is kind of like a hate to love, enemies to lovers kind of situation. Our heroine in the end wants to off our hero. So there is obviously that conflict. If you're interested in that, definitely check this one out. It brings a lot of the witchy vibes with all of like the plant magic that our heroine has. And then obviously with this coven being led by these skeleton-like creepy beings. And then the vampires, it's got a lot of dark, haunted, spooky vibes. So if that's what you're looking for, this one should be right up your alley. Next, I'm going to recommend To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. This is one of my favorite romance books of the year. I cannot wait to continue on with the series. This is a Rapunzel retelling, almost kind of similar to the Disney retelling, but make it super dark. Especially the prologue of this book. We have a lot of horrific things going on. There's gore. It gives major Witcher vibes, and the world also kind of gives similar kind of Witcher vibe. It's a really dark. Our heroine is here at this castle of sorts and she is being taken care of, but she has to donate a drop of blood every night to our, what I think is our hero. I'm not sure. This is a really problematic romance, so just know that going in. Dark, problematic, not for everyone, but really, really good. I loved it. Even the cover gives major dark kind of gothic vibes. And I just love the fantasy world too, like all the world building in this. I would say it's less spooky, but it does have like, it's got like a heightened gore aspect. So like a little bit horrific at times with its content. Next, let's talk about Gothicana by Runix. I think this is on a lot of people's list of spooky dark romances. This is also a forbidden romance. It's between a teacher and a student. Our heroine is witchy. She does tarot and she goes to this gothic castle for this school. For gifted people, let's just say. They are all very unique and have interesting talents. There's even these like spooky haunted scenes with like our hero playing piano at night in the castle, and it's just got major gothic vibes. It's called Gothicana for a reason. If you're looking for some smutty gothic vibes, this is perfect. It also has a mystery, which I find really fun. I love mysteries in the fall, but it's also like got some good spice too. So if that's what you're looking for, this one's fun. Okay, next I have a Why Choose fantasy romance, Demon's Horns, and it's by Mary Mystery, one of my favorite Why Choose romance authors. And this is about this girl and she's a demon. And in this world, like, we're following all demons, right? And what demon you are depends on which of the 7 deadly sins you like align with. And her parents, like, she doesn't want to be the same sins as her parents. I can't remember what they are. I think it's like sloth and greed, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, she turns out to be a lust demon, and it's a why choose romance. In a true Mary mystery fashion, there is a huge mystery that unfolds and like a plot that has a lot of adventure, intrigue, and obviously cliffhangers. She has major cliffhangers at the end of every single one of her books, and this one is no different. I haven't continued on in the series, but I'm looking forward to it. It's fun, it's spicy, and I think it's a really good one for this time of year because it has yet another academic setting, a bit of a gothic setting. As you can see from the cover, it gives like Harry Potter but smutty and with demons instead of witches. Another ultimate like dark romance favorite of mine is Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. This one gives total Twilight vibes. The energy, the atmosphere, the setting, all very much harkens back to Twilight. I haven't read the books, but I watched the movies over and over when I was younger. Our heroine, she does like paranormal investigations on YouTube. She decides to go back to her town that she grew up in and enters into the university there, meets some people, and gets caught up in some kind of issue with the coven, and that coven might be hunting her. She accidentally summons a demon. That demon is our hero, and their spooky, spicy, dark romance goes from there. She's in this secluded cabin. That's where she's living, which also in itself gives major like creepy horror vibes. And she's running from monsters like all of the time. There are all these different kinds of monsters that are after her. And then there's also a coven after her. So majorly spooky. There's mysteries. There's also lots of horror elements because of these monsters and this coven. The romance itself is quite dark. There's blood play. Just check out all of the triggers before you go into it. It's a bit of a monster romance too, because while our hero is a demon, he's a bit of a monstrous demon. Let's just say his tongue is not so normal. But yeah, this is a really good one, and it's a little bit long, but a lot of fun. I wasn't such a fan of the second book. I DNF'd it, but this is probably one of my favorite spicy romances of all time. Okay, let's talk about some novellas, okay? I have a few novellas that I just think are perfect for spooky season. The first is Scream for the Scarecrow by Violet Taylor. This one is about this girl. She goes to a pumpkin patch with her friend, and they have a super fun autumnal time picking out pumpkins, drinking apple cider, and it's Halloween. They go home. She decides she's just gonna have a chill night in, but she realizes she forgot her wallet at the pumpkin patch. So that night she has to go back, and when she goes back, she is discovered by the Scarecrow, and the Scarecrow comes alive every Halloween, only for the night of Halloween. There is primal play and some kind of like darker, I think there's like blood play in this one too. So it's got a lot darker kind of horrific romance vibes in this too. And I thought that they did the pumpkin patch scene and like everything that was, well, the whole thing basically takes place in pumpkin patch, but I think they did the whole vibes of the pumpkin patch really well. And I thought the spice was done well too. Next is Jack by Layla Faye. She's actually come out with a second one. It's like Jack 2. I haven't read that one yet, but Jack is a fun time. It's about this woman and she's hanging out by herself on the evening of Halloween, and she decides to play around, and I think she does like a spell and summons, and I can't remember what she's trying to summon, but she summons Jack, and he's like the pumpkin king, and he's got a pumpkin head, pumpkin everything, pumpkin spice everything actually. That's all I will say. This is like a fully monster romance and extreme. So be ready for extreme. But I thought that this was really fun for a spooky, spicy time. Just check your trigger warnings and know that you're getting yourself into something a little bit on the extreme, spicy, and weird anatomy side of things. Finally, I have a recent read that I adored, and that was Hunted by the Mushroom Nymphs. This is a sapphic erotica novella about this girl. She has found this spore and she finds it really, really interesting, and she feels called back to the forest to find more and find out more about this magical mushroom. and she gets this enchanted, just imagine like a whimsical enchanted but like spooky forest. She gets there and she's taken by some mushroom nymphs. These nymphs have mushroom heads and they can grow mushrooms anywhere. Okay, that's all. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. I gave it 5 stars. I'm a little bit confused at my rating, but at the same time, don't judge me. And to each his own. Get ready for mushroom slime though. So those are my recommendations for spooky and spicy dark romances for you to read this spooky season now that Halloween is coming up so soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. Comment down below, let me know your recommendations for spooky and spicy romances. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already subscribed to my channel. If you want to follow me on any social media, that's all linked down below in the description. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.